was like, no, that's not in the script. He wanted me to slap her and throw her down the stairs.
It's true what they say about Hollywood. You've got to stay sharp, or people will try and walk all over you.
But with regard to this movie, you got to remember, it's still a little bit of, it's Hollywood.
Terrence Howard, looking back on his breakthrough role in Hustle and �AMP wishes he had done things differently. Terrence Howard has recently stated that Paramount owes him about 20 years' worth of residuals and performance royalties, which, if he is not paid in full, Howard alleges that he's going to move forward with a solid legal action.
$12,000 for doing Hustle and Flow. And then on top of it, what Paramount did, instead of putting my name as Terrence Howard performing the songs, they put performed by DJ. Well, they own DJ. So guess what? The performance royalties went to Paramount. They went,
Wait a minute. They didn't go to Terrence Howard. They went to
$12,000. That's all I ever made.
The details? Here's everything you need to know. In 2005, Terrence Howard took on a leading role in a Paramount film alongside Taraji P. Henson, Ludacris, and Anthony Anderson. The character that Howard portrayed was a low-level thug from Memphis, Tennessee, who had dreams of making it big in the rap game and completely changing his life. And even though the script might have ended with him getting to the top of the mountain of his dreams, Terrence's real life had other plans for him. According to The Hollywood Reporter, the movie that was distributed by Paramount was a huge hit at the box office, bringing in more than $75 million. The film established itself as a classic in the field. Craig Brewer was the one in charge of its direction, while John Singleton and Stephanie Allain were the ones in charge of its production. Now, during a recent interview with 𝐷𝐿 News 3 in Memphis, Tennessee, Howard discussed the influence that the movie had on his life and hinted at the possibility of taking legal action against Paramount. The actor divulged some frightening truths that, in his opinion, will serve as the basis for legal action taken against the film production business. Terrence Howard, an actor known for his otherwise bizarre comments, disclosed in a recent interview with Alex Coleman of 𝐊𝐶 that he was paid a meager $12,000 for his performance in the 2005 film Hustle and �AMP, and that he has not yet received any royalties for the songs he played in the movie. That's right.
Back into Paramount, so now I gotta sue Paramount or send them a letter.
Howard voiced his annoyance and pointed out that Paramount had credited the songs to DJ rather than his name, which effectively gave the studio the right to demand performance fees. I made $12,000 for doing Hustle and �AMP, and then on top of it, what Paramount did, instead of putting my name as Terrence Howard performing the songs, they put performed by DJ, Howard explained. Well, they own DJ, so guess what? The performance royalties went to Paramount. Take a look.
Check this out. I made $12,000 for doing Hustle and Flow. And then on top of it, what Paramount did, instead of putting my name as Terrence Howard performing the songs, they put performed by DJ. Well, they own DJ. So guess what? The performance royalties went to Paramount.
In his announcement that he expects to pursue legal action, Howard stated that he intends to write a letter and file a lawsuit in an effort to claim the residuals and performance royalties that he believes he is owed for the work he has done over the past 2 decades. He believes that he is entitled to these payments, and that if they are not paid to him, he is going to go for any measure he seems fit to get what's rightfully his. Terrence Howard made $12,000. That's all I ever made from Hustle and Flow. Everything else went right back into Paramount. So now I gotta sue Paramount or send them a letter. I gotta send them a letter to say, hey, you guys owe me about 20 years worth of residuals and performance royalties. But I didn't know. I was just trying to pay my rent then, Howard continued. Of course, fans had a lot to say when they heard Howard make such revelations, with one fan in particular claiming, bro acted his soul out and made $2. Not to forget, Terrence Howard has also filed a lawsuit against 20th Century Fox Film, claiming that the company did not properly compensate him for the improper use of his likeness in the logo of the hit television show, Empire. The actor, who became famous for his performance as Lucius Lyon throughout the show's run of 6 seasons, asserts that the production company exploited a likeness of his character in the movie Hustle and �AMP without paying him the appropriate amount of compensation or obtaining his permission. According to reports, Howard, together with his attorney Lawrence Townsend, is suing the network for breach of contract, saying that he met barriers when obtaining royalties for the exploitation of his image and name.
And it's about what happens when you go out for revenge instead of just moving forward in your life.
Meanwhile, the complaint highlights the fact that even though the agreement permitted publicity and promotional uses to the network, approval rights to images that were used for direct endorsement of goods and services outside of the series were necessary. And, for those of you wondering, the Empire emblem, which prominently features a photograph of Howard's face, is the controversial image in question. He claims that he was never a part of a photo shoot for the logo, and that Fox used a still shot from his performance as DJ in the film Hustle and Amp Flow, which was released in 2005. During the course of the investigation, it was also found that the image of the logo had been borrowed from a certain frame in the film Hustle and Amp Flow, which was produced by Paramount, where CGI was used to change this frame, which was then captured during a recording session scene in which the movie's theme song, "It's Hard Out Here for a Pimp," is sung. At this time, the sum total that Howard is requesting is being kept secret from the general public. Still, considering the actor's assurance that he will pursue legal action, it is predicted that the amount will be fairly significant. And, while all of that is happening, former managers of Terrence Howard's, who now work for Authentic Talent and Literary Management, have filed a lawsuit against him for breach of contract. Honestly, at this point, Hollywood is all about scandalous divorces and legal battles. Anyway, the talent agency has lodged a complaint in the Los Angeles Superior Court, stating that the Empire actor, who engaged their services in 2013, has failed to fulfill payment obligations amounting to thousands of dollars in commissions. And although Howard severed his ties with Authentic, the management company maintains that, in accordance with an email from 2014, he consented to pay post-termination compensation fees in the future. It is underlined in the legal documents that Authentic was instrumental in obtaining Howard the major part in the popular television show Empire. The actor had signed a 7-year contract for the show, and Authentic executives claim a 10% entitlement to his earnings throughout the contract's duration, which concluded in 2020. So, while the specific amount sought by the executives remains undisclosed, Howard finds himself in legal turmoil shortly after narrowly avoiding another court battle related to Empire. Not to mention, a former gangster who is now an author has just issued Howard and the show's creator, Lee Daniels, with a lawsuit seeking $10 million. The suit alleges that the series plot was stolen from the former's biography, titled Bigger Than Big. That's all for today's video. But before you leave, do you think Terrence is going to get anywhere with his recent claims? Let us know in the comments below. To catch us for more updates, slam on the bell icon.